When an INFJ goes cold. Have you ever felt the warmth of an INFJ slowly fade into the distance? One day, they are deeply engaged, offering profound emotional support and connection, and the next, they seem cold, distant, and unresponsive. If you've experienced this, you're not alone. INFJs are known for their deep emotional intensity, but when they withdraw, it can be jarring and painful for those around them. So, what does it mean when an INFJ goes cold? Is it temporary? Is it a sign of something deeper? More importantly, if you're an INFJ watching this, have you ever found yourself emotionally shutting down, unsure how to explain your feelings to others? In today's video, we're going to uncover the key reasons why an INFJ goes cold, breaking down the psychological mechanisms behind it and providing ways to help you better understand yourself or the INFJ in your life. Stick around until the end because we'll also discuss how to navigate this emotional shutdown, both as an INFJ and as someone who loves one. Let's begin. 1. Emotional overload, the INFJ burnout. INFJs absorb emotions like a sponge. They deeply feel their own emotions but also the emotions of those around them. Over time, this emotional weight builds up, leading to an overload that makes them retreat into solitude. Imagine an INFJ friend who's been supporting a loved one through a crisis for weeks. They have been listening, comforting, and giving their all. One day, they suddenly stop responding to messages. Not because they don't care, but because they literally have nothing left to give. INFJs need to set better emotional boundaries and practice intentional solitude before burnout forces them into isolation. 2. The INFJ Door Slam, the final goodbye. If an INFJ feels deeply betrayed, they may execute the infamous door slam, cutting someone out of their life completely. This is not done impulsively but after repeated emotional wounds that they can no longer tolerate. An INFJ forgives a toxic friend over and over, believing in their potential to change. But after years of emotional manipulation, the INFJ reaches their breaking point and disappears without a word. Recognizing red flags early can prevent INFJs from reaching this extreme point. 3. Feeling deeply misunderstood. INFJs struggle with being misunderstood. Their minds work in complex ways, and when they feel that no one truly gets them, they withdraw. An INFJ passionately shares an idea about human psychology with a friend, only to be met with blank stares or dismissive comments. Over time, this pattern makes them feel like an outsider, causing them to shut down emotionally. Find like-minded communities where INFJs can express their inner world freely. 4. The disillusionment with humanity. INFJs are idealists at heart, believing in the potential for deep, meaningful connections. However, when they encounter too much shallowness, cruelty, or deception, they withdraw to protect their idealistic vision. An INFJ dedicates their energy to a humanitarian cause, only to witness corruption within the organization. Disillusioned, they pull away from people altogether. Rather than giving up, INFJs can seek out smaller, more genuine ways to make a difference. 5. Betrayal and broken trust. Trust is sacred to an INFJ. If it's broken, their warmth disappears overnight. An INFJ confides their deepest fears in a friend, only to find out that person shared their secrets. The result? Complete emotional detachment. INFJs must recognize that not everyone deserves their deepest vulnerabilities and choose confidants wisely. 6. Unreciprocated emotional investment. INFJs give a lot in relationships. If their efforts aren't returned, they start to pull back. An INFJ pours their heart into a friendship, but the other person only reaches out when they need something. Over time, the INFJ stops responding. Set mutual energy expectations in relationships early on. 7. Feeling trapped in inauthenticity. INFJs crave authenticity. If they're in an environment that forces them to wear a mask, they eventually detach. An INFJ working a corporate job filled with fake smiles and surface-level interactions eventually becomes distant and robotic. Find environments that honor depth and authenticity. 8. Overthinking and emotional paralysis. Sometimes, an INFJ goes cold not out of choice, but because they are trapped in their own minds, overanalyzing everything. An INFJ debates whether they should speak up about something that hurt them. The longer they analyze, the colder they appear to others. Practice expressing emotions in real time rather than overthinking. 9. Losing a sense of purpose. INFJs thrive on meaning. Without it, they disengage. An INFJ who once loved writing suddenly loses their spark because they feel their work doesn't matter. Rediscover small, meaningful actions to reignite passion. 10. Emotional unavailability as a defense mechanism. When an INFJ has been hurt too many times, they shut off their emotions completely as a form of self-preservation. An INFJ once open and warm becomes distant in new relationships because of past heartbreaks. Recognizing that true connection requires vulnerability. 11. Feeling unappreciated. INFJs put their heart into everything they do. When their efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated, they withdraw. An INFJ works tirelessly on a project but receives no recognition, leading them to detach and lose motivation. INFJs should surround themselves with people who value and acknowledge their contributions. 12. Being emotionally drained by others. Some people take too much without giving back, leaving INFJs emotionally exhausted. A friend constantly vents to an INFJ without considering their emotional capacity, causing the INFJ to pull away. Set boundaries and recharge before offering emotional support again. 13. Struggling with internal conflict. INFJs battle internal dilemmas, and when unresolved, these conflicts lead them to withdraw. An INFJ debates between following their dreams or meeting family expectations, leading to emotional shutdown. Journaling and self-reflection can help clarify their true desires. 14. Fear of hurting others. INFJs sometimes go cold to avoid saying something they might regret. Instead of confronting someone about a problem, an INFJ withdraws to avoid conflict. Practice healthy communication skills to address issues directly yet compassionately. INFJs don't go cold out of malice, they do so out of necessity, to protect their emotional well-being. Understanding these reasons can help INFJs become more self-aware and give those around them the tools to navigate this emotional shift. If you're an INFJ, know that your depth is a gift, and while it's okay to retreat when needed, remember that there are people who truly see and value you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever gone cold as an INFJ? What triggered it? Let's start a conversation. Stay safe, and see you in the next one.